Hello everybody and welcome to the War Room. This is the Bantamweight Battles edition. So this is talking about the Sean O'Malley fight against Eddie Wineland, which I'm very, very excited for. And you'll see that coming out when I start talking about the fight. Before I get to that, go and watch the other two videos as well. There are three big bantamweights fights on this card. The co-main event between Garbrandt and Sun Sao, and then the fight before that with Sandhagen and Sterling. So make sure you go and check those out as well as this one. And join the comments. I want to know what you guys think to these fights. Right, very excited for this one. Sean O'Malley, an exciting prospect in the UFC, an interesting character, a developing skill set, and a calmness and a maturity to his game that makes him a contender, no matter what the number next to his name is. He's got a big opportunity here fighting Eddie Wineland, someone that's been a perennial contender in this division, someone that's been familiar since WEC days. You know, Eddie Wineland made his pro debut when Sean O'Malley was 9. So, you know, you can see how much time has passed and how much ground has been covered for Eddie Wineland as the veteran. I mean, what is he, 24, 13 and 1? I mean, that's 2 records for some fighters. The one thing about Eddie Wineland, and Joe Rogan actually picked this up in commentary quite nicely, like, there's a particular style to Eddie Wineland's fighting, and it's not changed too much over the years. Joe Rogan said in commentary that you know, if you saw a silhouette of Eddie Wineland fighting, you would know it was Eddie Wineland because no one quite fights like him. I agree. I would say Cub Swanson's got a very similar style as well. I call it the gunslinger style. You know, it's hands at the waist. It's, you know, you're ready to draw. That's the kind of vibe to me. Like you're always you're champing at the bit to get forward to get at your opponent. You're the Cody Garbrandt. You know, the leash is tight. You're trying to get at him all the time. Eddie's got this real interesting shifting from one side to another. He's got a lot of upper body movement and head movement because he's got such a wide stance. Again, there are benefits and drawbacks to every stance that you can choose in mixed martial arts. The stance that Eddie Wineland uses, the drawback is that you are vulnerable to low kicks. You don't move quite as quickly when someone's trying to kick you or someone's covering distance quickly to land shots. O'Malley's very good at managing range and distance between. He's very good at using his head movement to make people miss and make people chase. And Wineland does get kind of wound up, and he like fires up and fights in bursts. And when he starts coming forward, that's when O'Malley's just going to go, okay, move away, slip, move. And then Wineland's missed a bunch of punches, and he's even more angry than he was before he started throwing. That's the way I see this fight going for Sean O'Malley if he plays his cards right. There are certain things you can expect from a veteran like Eddie Wineland, and there is so many fights you can watch that prove it. Like, the consistency of Eddie Wineland's game is what's probably going to work against him in this fight. There's no doubt that he can use that pressure and that tension to walk Sean O'Malley onto a big punch. I mean, we remember what he did to Grigory Popov. I mean, how many times did he club him with that right hand? And Popov's a good fighter, tough individual. Like, Sean O'Malley can take a punch, there's no doubt about it. And the fact that he's so relaxed and calm means that those punches ride off him much better. Instead of him being tense when he receives the shot, it rides off him. He's far more chill. The drunk driver analogy that people use. You know, if you're relaxed, you absorb the power better. Eddie Wineland, on the other hand, because he's tense and he's moving forward with gritted teeth, there's that tension in his frame, which means that if he does get hit with a shot on the chin, that's going to hurt him far quicker and far easier. It's also going to be easier to make him miss and make him vulnerable after he's thrown his own punches. And I think that O'Malley's he's finding his groove. You know, you looked at that last fight against Quinones, and you know, the times that he needed to apply pressure, he did. The times that he needed to get his head out of the way and stay safe, he did. And he was still unhappy with his performance, even though it was practically flawless. You know, like he's an interesting individual, and he's got high standards for himself. And because he's also part of this new wave of you know, like he doesn't know who a lot of the guys that fought in the early UFCs are. He's the new generation, the guys that have joined mixed martial arts as a thing. You know, a lot of the guys that he's sharing the octagon with, Eddie Wineland included, who probably started training in martial arts before people started properly mixing it. You know, like he probably was watching the UFC while he was still doing his traditional martial arts or hitting the bag at the boxing gym or whatever. Sean O'Malley's hit the ground with all of the pieces in his hand, and he's put them together in very, very interesting ways. Whereas Eddie Wineland's still using pieces that he's recruited in the past. I'm a boxer, I've got some takedown defense, I might have a few chokes. You know, O'Malley's he's building wild creations with these pieces because it's unlimited what he can do because he started with the full set. Very, very interesting fight. O'Malley can absolutely leapfrog up this division. Like I said, it doesn't matter what number is next to his name in the rankings, it's the numbers next to his name on the pay-per-view. That's what people really pay attention to. And O'Malley is going to skyrocket through this division if he keeps winning. It's all about the success rate, and Wineland is a great opportunity for him. Enjoy the fights. See you next time.